Prologue: The Harvester's Arrival. A dark force sweeps across the galaxy. The Korthan Dominion, an empire from beyond the known universe, descends upon the Milky Way, their purpose grim and terrifying. These monstrous beings, biomechanical in nature, sustain their power by harvesting the life essence of entire planets, absorbing biological and technological knowledge into their hive mind collective. Humanity, having only recently mastered faster-than-light travel, is woefully unprepared. Earth's governments collapse under the first wave of attacks. Cities burn, billions perish, and the skies are filled with the screams of the dying. The Korthan do not negotiate. They do not conquer in the traditional sense. They consume. But from the ashes rises an unlikely leader, Commander Elias Kael, a hardened veteran of the Terran Defense Force. Charismatic, strategic, and haunted by the loss of his wife and daughter in the initial invasion, he refuses to let humanity fall. His scars tell a story of battles fought and sacrifices made. His steel blue eyes reflect a determination that borders on obsession. He is not just fighting to survive, he is fighting for vengeance. As Elias Kael gazes upon the smoldering ruins of Earth's major cities from the bridge of his battle-worn command ship, the Resolute, he knows humanity's survival depends on forging alliances with those who once saw them as mere upstarts in the galactic hierarchy. But trust is fragile in war, and as the war expands beyond the Sol system, the question remains: who can truly be trusted when the fate of the entire galaxy is at stake? The transmission flickers on the main view screen. A distorted, static-laced image of a Korthan warlord materializes. Its chitinous face twists into what could be a cruel facsimile of a grin. "You will fall, little creatures. You are but sparks in the void, and we are the storm that extinguishes all. Resist, and you will suffer. Surrender, and we will make it painless." Kael's grip tightens around the armrest of his chair. "Tell your masters that humanity will not kneel. Not today, not ever." The screen goes dark. The war has begun. Chapter 1: The Emerging Threat. The air inside the Resolute's command deck was thick with tension. The faint hum of the ship's engines provided an eerie backdrop to the frantic reports coming in from all corners of human space. Kael's jaw tightened as he watched the holographic display of the Sol system. Red markers flickered in rapid succession, each one a distress beacon from a fallen colony. "Damn it," Kael muttered, running a hand through his short-cropped, graying hair. "They're moving too fast. Faster than we anticipated." Across from him, Admiral Leona Vasquez, a woman with sharp brown eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor, crossed her arms. "They don't just strike. They wipe out entire planets. The Korthan don't leave survivors, Commander." "We still don't understand their full capabilities," interjected Dr. Ren Everson, the ship's leading xenobiologist. His normally calm demeanor was shaken. "Their biomechanical physiology suggests rapid adaptation. We could be dealing with a species that evolves mid-battle." Kael exhaled sharply. "Then we need intelligence, and we need it now." "Sir," an ensign called from across the room. "We're picking up a distress call from Vega Prime." Kael's eyes locked onto Vasquez. "That's one of our last major strongholds." Vasquez nodded grimly. "If they take Vega Prime, we lose a major foothold in the sector. We have to go." Kael turned back to the display. The Korthan weren't just invaders. They were an extinction-level event, and humanity was running out of time. Chapter 2: The First Strike. The battle for Vega Prime was chaos incarnate. The moment the Resolute exited FTL, the battlefield unfolded before them, a graveyard of human and alien ships burning in the void. The planet itself was engulfed in a storm of fire, with Korthan warforms descending like locusts upon its cities. "Multiple enemy contacts," shouted the tactical officer. "They're everywhere." Kael gritted his teeth. "Bring all weapons online. We fight or we die." Fighter squadrons launched from the Resolute's hangars, engaging in high-speed dogfights with Korthan biofighters. Explosions rippled through space as ships on both sides were torn apart. On the planet's surface, human marines engaged in brutal street-to-street combat against monstrous Korthan warriors, whose chitinous armor repelled even the strongest rifle rounds. Kael knew this was only the beginning. Humanity needed more than weapons. They needed allies. Chapter 3: Desperate Alliances. Kael's diplomatic mission to the Tervani Republic was met with skepticism. The Tervani, a technologically advanced but isolationist race, had long viewed humanity as reckless and naive. Their leader, High Chancellor Ralvek, eyed Kael with cold amusement. "You ask us to stand against an enemy that even you cannot defeat alone?" Ralvek said, leaning back in his ornate chair. Kael's voice was steady. "The Korthan won't stop with us. They consume everything. If you think isolation will protect you, you're signing your own death warrant." Ralvek's advisors murmured among themselves. The Chancellor steepled his fingers. "Prove to me that humanity is worth saving." Kael's expression darkened. "You want proof? Come with me to Vega Prime." The Chancellor hesitated. Kael pressed forward. "See for yourself what happens when the Korthan decide a world is no longer useful." Silence stretched between them. Then Ralvek nodded. "Very well, show me." It was a start, but Kael knew that trust, once broken, was not so easily rebuilt. As Vega Prime smoldered in the aftermath of battle, Kael and his crew worked tirelessly to regroup. The Tervani, upon witnessing the devastation, reluctantly agreed to join the war effort, but their commitment was tenuous. Trust needed to be built, and time was not on their side. Meanwhile, intelligence reports revealed that the Korthan were not acting alone. A mysterious third party, known only as the Syndicate, had been supplying them with advanced technology, hoping to profit from the war's chaos. Kael and his team embarked on a dangerous mission to uncover the Syndicate's motives and disrupt their supply lines, leading to high-stakes espionage and betrayals within their own ranks. The battles escalated, both in space and on the ground. The Korthan adapted to human tactics with terrifying efficiency, forcing Kael to make impossible choices. Admiral Vasquez, a steadfast ally, began questioning his leadership as casualties mounted. Meanwhile, Dr. Everson uncovered a chilling truth. The Korthan were not merely consuming life. They were absorbing the minds and memories of their victims, using them to predict their enemies' strategies. As the war reached its breaking point, a shocking betrayal from within Kael's inner circle threatened to shatter the fragile alliance. One of their own had been compromised, feeding critical information to the Korthan. With time running out, Kael was forced to take the fight directly to the enemy's homeworld, leading to the climactic final battle, a desperate all-or-nothing assault to end the Korthan threat once and for all. In the aftermath, with the galaxy on the brink of collapse, Kael proposed a bold new vision. The Galactic Concord, an organization uniting all species in shared knowledge and mutual defense, ensuring that no empire would ever stand alone against a threat like the Korthan again. His vision extended beyond mere military alliances. It was a foundation for peace, for shared technology, for ensuring that no civilization would be left vulnerable again. But as the dust settled, whispers of an even darker force emerged. Unexplored regions of the galaxy harbored ancient, dormant threats, ones that had remained hidden during the Korthan War. Intelligence reports suggested that the Syndicate, though seemingly defeated, had merely retreated into the shadows, regrouping for their own endgame. Meanwhile, the Korthan's last, desperate transmission hinted at a force even they feared, a force that lurked in the void beyond known space. As Kael stood aboard the Resolute, looking out at the vast expanse of space, a sense of triumph mixed with an underlying dread settled over him. The war had forged new alliances, broken old prejudices, and reshaped the fate of countless civilizations. But as the Galactic Concord was born from the ashes of destruction, Kael knew this was not the end. It was the dawn of something even greater. Suddenly, a new signal flickered across the star map, distant and faint but unmistakable. A distress call, not from any known faction, but from the void beyond explored space. The message was fragmented, filled with fear and desperation. "They are coming. The darkness stirs. We are not alone." Kael's heart pounded as he exchanged glances with Admiral Vasquez and Ralvek. The Korthan had been terrifying, but whatever lay beyond the edge of the galaxy had even them trembling in fear. The battles they had fought were merely the prologue to something far greater. A war not just for survival, but for the very nature of existence itself. With a deep breath, Kael turned to his crew, determination burning in his eyes. "We fought for our right to exist. We bled for this alliance. Now, we stand together for the future of the galaxy." The bridge erupted into action as new coordinates were locked in. The Resolute turned toward the unknown, toward the next great battle. And as the engines roared to life, Kael knew one thing for certain. The fight was far from over. It had only just begun.